Skinny Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. And today I'm here with the fight breakdown and prediction between Terrance Crawford and Shawn Porter. That's coming up this Saturday. And I want to apologize off the bat because I'm a little late with this fight breakdown and prediction. I normally do my fight breakdowns and prediction at the beginning of the week on Monday. It's Wednesday, and I'm late with this prediction, so I want to apologize to my Southern T fam. My bad, y'all. But we're here now, so let's go and get into it. On the left, we got Terrance Crawford. On the right, we got Shawn Porter. These are two of the best welterweights in the world. Welterweights are the 147-pound division. Terrance Crawford is currently the 147 WBO champion, and Shawn Porter is a former, WBC champion at this division. Terrance Crawford, the guy on the left, he's seen as pound for pound. And by pound for pound, I mean, tit for tat, on the grand scheme of things. Terrance Crawford, the guy on the left, is seen as one of the best boxers in the world. A lot of people have Terrance Crawford, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most people have him in the top 5. Everybody have him in the top 10. Terrance Crawford is one of the more decorated fighters in today's game. He's an explosive fighter, very exciting style. A fan-friendly fighter, and that's, with his mouth and with his fights inside of the ring. Terrance Crawford is one of those guys who I call a special talent. He's a special talent. Now, he's older in his career. He's 34 years old, but he's still at this age a special talent. He's going up against a guy, Shawn Porter to the right. Like I stated earlier, Shawn Porter is a former champion himself. Actually, Shawn Porter is a former 2-time champion himself. Shawn Porter is also, one of the best welterweights in the world. Shawn Porter is not currently a pound-for-pound guy, not currently a top 10 pound-for-pound guy, but I think if extend the pound-for-pound to top 20, top 25, Shawn Porter is one of the better and more proven fighters in today's game. Shawn Porter has been in the ring with a list of who's who ever since he started his boxing career. Shawn Porter is one of the more respected guys in boxing. He's also a boxing commentator as well. Shawn Porter is also a highly exciting fighter with a highly exciting style. I have never sat and watched a boring Shawn Porter fight because Shawn Porter has yet to give us a boring Shawn Porter fight. So both these guys are coming in with styles who's fan-friendly, and I think it's going to be one of the more exciting fights of the year. Let me go and get into the tail of the tape. You got Bud Crawford, who is the guy on your left. You got Bud Crawford, who is 37-0 with 28 knockouts. He's currently the WBO 147-pound champion. He's the former 140-pound, which is light welterweight, undisputed champion. And he's also the former champion at the 135-pound division, which is the lightweight division. He's 34 years old. He stands 5'8" in height with a 74-inch arm reach. His last win was versus Kell Brook. And he also has wins versus Amir Khan, Jeff Horn, and Victor Postile. What jumps out to me about Bud Crawford is that, he had 37 fights. I didn't know that Bud Crawford, had so many fights. I knew that he was a veteran, but I didn't know the exact number was 37. Bud Crawford has more fights than I thought he did at 37-0. I knew Bud, was a veteran. He had a lot of fights, but I wasn't quite sure of the number. But 37-0 is impressive. And what I also took from this is, he's had 37 fights. He's 34 years old, and Shawn Porter is his toughest matchup to date. Now, we could say is Bud Crawford's Shawn Porter's toughest matchup? That is debatable. Shawn Porter has been in there with a lot of guys. which I'm going to go and get into that right now. Let me go and give you Shawn Porter's tale of the tape before I get going too far. Shawn Porter is 31-3 with 1 draw. He has 17 knockouts. He's the former WBC welterweight champion, 2-time WBC welterweight champion. He stands at 5'7" with a reach of 69 inches. He has wins over Sebastian Formella, Yordenis Ugas, Danny Garcia, and Andre Berto. And what I was saying was, we're not really sure if Terrance Crawford is Shawn Porter's biggest matchup, because Shawn Porter has been in the ring in there. No, he has wins over those guys I just named, but he's been in the ring with a who's who of boxers, the Keith Thurmans, the Earl Spence Jr.'s, the Adrian Broners, the Kell Brooks, Yordenis Ugas, who's a camera champion. He beat him, like I said. But yeah, what I was getting at was, we're not really sure if Terrance Crawford is Shawn Porter's best opponent. But what I'm sure of is that we're not really sure that Terrance Crawford is Shawn Porter's best opponent. But what I'm sure of that is that Shawn Porter is going to be the best opponent that Bud has faced. And I think, although that, Terrance Crawford has 37 fights to Shawn Porter's 35 fights. So they just about the same experience. I think although they have a close number in fights, I think as far as, opponent level, as far as, having to overcome an opponent inside of the ring, I believe that Shawn Porter is far more experienced on the elite level, on the big stage, at fighting elite fighters than one Bud Crawford. I think that's going to help Shawn Porter out a lot, having been there, you know what I mean? Or the knock on Bud is, Bud hasn't fought, much elite competition lately. We give Terrance Crawford full credit, for what he did at the lower weights, 135, 140, becoming undisputed, all that good stuff. But Shawn Porter is Terrance Crawford's best opponent at the welterweight division. He's been there about 3 years now, and he has yet to face a quality opponent that the fans would like him to see. He's beat some decent guys, he's beat some solid guys, but he hasn't had that big legendary mega fight at 147 yet. And Shawn Porter is right up their alley, and I'm glad that it's fight week, and I'm glad that we creeping up upon this fight, y'all. So although I give Shawn Porter the edge and experience, or an opponent edge, I give Terrance Crawford the skill advantage, and I think that Terrance Crawford is the better boxer in this fight with Shawn Porter. But as you guys know, styles make fight. The question about Shawn Porter is, he's never won, quote unquote, the big fight. I personally think he has won some big fights, but the stigma around Terrance Bud Crawford is that he's never had a big fight. You know what I mean? But I got Crawford with the skill advantage, and I got Shawn Porter, with the experience advantage. Now I'm about to get into, the fight breakdown portion of the video. I think if Terrance Crawford is going to win this fight, he's going to have to pretty much do what Terrance Crawford does, and he's going to have to do it for 12 rounds, which is not a problem. For a guy like Terrance Crawford. The only problem that I got with Terrance Crawford and being able to outbox Shawn Porter, fully capable of doing it. I fully believe he's capable of doing it. But is he going to do it? Because Terrance Crawford is one of those guys, if you hit Bud is one of those guys that got to get his lick back, and he got to get his lick back right then. Bud is one of those guys, if you hit him, he go hit you back. That's in his DNA. That's the style of fighter he is, which has seen him to be highly successful in his career also. But also in his career, a couple times, not a lot, but a couple times, he's gotten Terrance Bud Crawford in some sticky situations. He's gotten them caught. Or, like against Kell Brooks, he had to cut over his eye. Or, against Mean Machine, the infamous or the famous, however you look at it, knockdown or not knockdown, what type deal. So Terrance Crawford has that get back in him, which helps him and it hurts him. So, if he get a little comfortable and Shawn Porter hit him and he feel like, he want to get his get back, he could do it and get away with it, a time or two. But as he continues to do it, as the fight goes on, that's going to give Shawn Porter, the more openings. That's going to give Shawn Porter the openings that he needs to land his stuff. If Bud is disciplined in this fight and he boxes Shawn Porter off the counter, off the jab, Bud Crawford can win this. But if Shawn Porter could force Terrance Bud Crawford to fight his style of fight, Shawn Porter wants to muck it up. He wants to make the fight, a rough, rugged kind of fight, which, a fight where they lean more on will than they have to do skill. And don't get me wrong, Shawn Porter is a highly skilled fighter. I think people don't give Shawn Porter enough credit for his boxing ability, but he's not a better boxer than Terrance Crawford. So his key to victory will have to be, that old school, old fashioned Shawn Porter, relentless push, relentless pace, but all without getting too sloppy and without getting excited or ahead of yourself and getting caught with one of those beautiful Terrance Bud Crawford counter punches. Shawn Porter wants to fight this fight on the inside. Bud has the reach advantage. Bud is a better boxer. Like in the other Shawn Porter fight, Shawn Porter wants to get in. Shawn Porter wants to get in, touch up Bud and, get out of there and control the pace. Shawn Porter, I think in order for Shawn Porter, when he gets in, he has to focus a lot on Bud Crawford's body. I think if you attack Bud's body, I think if Shawn Porter is able to attack Bud's body, he will be able to slow Bud down, and that'll keep Bud from moving this much, forcing Bud to be more stationary and fight, your type of fight in a firefight. Shawn Porter has to make this a firefight, because I don't think that he could beat Bud in the boxing match. I think Bud is a higher class boxer. Again, no shot at Shawn's boxing ability, because Shawn is a good boxer. I just think Bud is a better boxer. So for Shawn, I think Shawn's going to have to get inside, muck it up, make this an ugly fight, attack Bud's body. For Bud, I think Bud's, going to have to box his fight at his pace, control pace, and, use the angles on Shawn Porter and make this a clean fight. I'm getting into my prediction stage of this video. The cleaner this fight is, Bud Crawford wins. The dirtier this fight is, the more physical this fight is, I believe Shawn Porter wins. I hope Bud Crawford is not coming in here, thinking he's going to outmuscle Shawn Porter. I seen Bud Crawford, say that if Shawn Porter thinks he's going to muscle me, he's got another thing coming. If Bud fights his fight, clean, effective boxing, he wins. If Bud gets sucked into a brawl with Shawn Porter, that greatly increases Shawn Porter's chances to win this fight. In this fight, I'm taking Bud Crawford. I'm taking Bud Crawford by unanimous decision. And I'm saying unanimous. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I think Bud is going to be able to get a unanimous decision, not because it wasn't a tough fight or a close fight for him, just because I think Bud is going to be able to win the rounds more clearly if he makes it a boxing match instead of a brawl. But that's all I got. I got Bud Crawford, unanimous decision over Shawn Porter. This is a fight where I will be in the building. I will be at this fight live. I'm excited about it. One of the bigger fights of the year. What's coming after this fight is what's even more important to me. Earl Spence said that, he's going to be at the fight, call out the winner of this fight. So we should be getting undisputed at 147. Sooner rather than later. Or we'll be getting a clear picture of who's, been holding up undisputed at 147 sooner than later. But that's all I got. Skin the heart away, Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.